Okay, so
Oh, the book. No, it's level.
are we taping? Yeah.
Yes.
So the history again, the history of this Maimer, the whole thing is quite a mystery. The Nakuda is the Fidige Rebbe instructed our Rebbe, and we're not even sure who chose the Maimer, but he instructed before Yud Shvat to publish a Maimer in honor of the Yahrzeit of his grandmother on Yud Shvat, the Rebbe Rivka, and his grandmother, and his mother, the Rebbe Sterne Sora, his Yahrzeit, is Yud Gimel Shvat. And so a Maimer that he had said previously was published. Now this Maimer was never published. It was published only later in 1986. Pei Gimel. 1923. It was a Maimer of 1923, Shabbos Parshas Boy. The Fidige Rebbe changed the Dibra Maschel. There it starts Vi Be'etzem Hayoyim Hazeh. And then to understand, he introduces the Pasuk Basi L'Gani in the second paragraph, and the Maimer starts Basi L'Gani. Now that Hemshech has 20 chapters, which he said back in 1923. And the Fidige Rebbe instructed that they should be published over the next few months, all the way to Shavuos, in honor of the Yahrzeit, and then the next would be Purim. Next would be Beis Nissen, his father's Yahrzeit, Pesach, and Shavuos. And in fact, it was after his discourse they continued to publish these Kontreisim, and eventually comes out as a book called Seif Mamarim Tovshin Yud, which I have. I can bring it to you.
Wait, so on the Shabbos Yud Shvat.
So Shabbos Yud Shvat, they come to Shul on the first 10, which ends here, and no, the first 5. This is already the second Maimer of Beis Nissen, of Chaverim, of Hashavas Beganim. The first thing they saw was on the tables of 5 chapters. And only we find out later, years later, when it was published from the Ksav Yad, this Maimer is actually, these 20 chapters, which were published over these months, was a Maimer that the Fidige Rebbe had said and written in 1923. What turns out is that the 1923 Shabbos Parshas Boy was the first time our Rebbe was by the Fidige Rebbe. So the first Maimer he hears is this, about called the Derashvi. And that's the Maimer, I don't know who chose it, obviously both, the Fidige Rebbe was masking, but I don't know whose initiative, but that's the Maimer that's chosen for his final Maimer, for the final Maimer of the Fidige Rebbe. All right, so this is already the second Maimer, Hayeshavas Beganim. And as I told you, it's 20, going all the way till Shavuos, like Beimer Shavuos. And as you know, the Rebbe's custom it was that every year to say a Maimer Basi L'Gani based on the corresponding chapters. So the first year, the Maimer focuses on the first Ois. And 20 years, he finished and started again. So we're now in the 4th cycle, year 10. Hence, it's...
No, he didn't publish all 20.
No, but it wasn't a Hemshech.
It was intended to be as a Hemshech. It was written as a Hemshech and published as a Hemshech. It's a Hemshech. It was originally said and written as a Hemshech and then published in 1950 as a Hemshech. As I'm telling you, after these Talkos, they continued. There's an introduction. The Rebbe says, this is by the Fidige Rebbe's instruction to publish these Maimorim or Hemshech in connection with this day, and that's what it says in the introduction to each one. And then at the end they published Seif Maimorim Tovshin Yud. He was nostalgic Yud Shvat. The whole thing goes all the way till Shavuos. This Hemshech doesn't. This goes till Beis Nissen, I think. Till Beis Nissen. Till Pesach. But it goes all the way to Shavuos. And they published it with Sichos and the related things. It's a whole Sefer, Seif Maimorim Tovshin Yud. All right. So let's do this a little bit. Let's start at least. So this concludes the second Maimer, Hayeshavas Beganim. So this is the meaning of make for me a mikdash shall dwell amongst you. As it says in the Shalah, this is not a Maimer Chazal, it says in Shalah. It doesn't say in it, but amongst you, amongst each one of you. Now could be it is a medrash. There are many midrashim that we do not have. So maybe the Shalah is quoting from Medrash, but we know it only from the Shalah. And I think another source as well. Each one, when he transforms darkness to light, he causes this revelation of the glory. It means the glory, it means the preciousness of Hashem in all of the worlds. There's a greater revelation than there was as a result of the transformation of darkness, greater than ordinary light. Now the Eid is revealed down here on earth, and that's manifested in the Atzei Shittim. The Atzei Shittim is the refinement and elevation of the folly of unholiness. That's why they're called boards, because the word kedesh, Shemashem is baded misheker v'kesher. We take the sheker, the lie of the world, and we make it a kesher, a connection to Hashem.
Why is it the kesher? You should have said the kesher.
The Ishis are not so. That's the style of the writing.
Okay.
The Fig Rebbe style of writing is much. And we do it looser, but less. It's more poetic and more.
Imagery.
Huh?
Yeah, like an image.
Yeah, the language. It's
Literary.
Huh?
Literary more than
Say
technical.
what?
More literary than technical. Yeah. Although there's the Rebbe's medayik and diyukim. So, Mebiruzeh Nase Karsha Mishkan, and this makes the boards of the Mishkan. Now he spells it out. This will be addressed later in the Maimah, but just the lie of, from the lie of the world, you make the what? Actually says it kind of now. Baveda, what does it mean Baveda? Mashadei Esek HaTorah v'kim HaMitzvahs, through Torah and Mitzvahs, Mahapchim HaHergesh De'olam. We transform the feeling, the sense that the world has, which is the big lie. Them Welt Gefühl, the feeling of the world. What's the feeling of the world? The feeling of the world is a sense of complete independence. So the shaila is this, friends. The shaila is, this is a lie. You can't transform a lie. You expose a lie. And you banish it. And you do away with it. But what does it mean to mahabich to transform a lie? So he's really saying it here, and it means like this. The big lie of the world is, I am. Independent. The emes, and this sense of I am doesn't exist anywhere in Ishtalshalus. The exclusive I am. The lowest level of Ishtalshalus, there's I am because of him. Now it's true, the higher you go, the because gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and the I gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it's to the top, Atzilus is only him. But what's common to all of it is there's an Eibishter. In Asiyah, in Malchus Asiyah, the lowest level of Ishtalshalus, there is the truth that creation is a result of God's will. He's the creator. This is the only place where, as Parah said, I made myself. There's two psukim. That's another one in the same haftarah. It's my haftarah, remember it, my mitzvah parasha. I made myself. We all walk around with this sense. So Chassidus explains that this is the moededik irony, that this hergish, this sense of the Yesha Nivra, that I am, is really a corruption and is rooted in the true hergish of the Yesha Amiti, that I am of the Eibishter. In other words, to rephrase that.
We had this at the beginning of the year, if you remember.
Yeah. The Yesha Amiti is expressed in the Yesha Nivra, which in other words is as follows. How is it possible, but logically, objectively, that this lie should persist contrary to the truth of constant tishavus, constant creation, and that Hashem is the only reality? Everything has to have a source in Elikus. Where is the source here of this sense of Yeshus, which is the biggest lie? It's a corruption of the Yesha Amiti. And the Yesha Amiti is Nizgala Dafke in the Yesha Nivra, because the Dira for Atzmos is Dafke Lemata in Tachtoinu. So that's what we're saying that this Hergish of Welt, what's this Hergish of Welt? The sense of I am should be transformed through Avodah al Hergish Aliki. That this I am through Avodah is transformed, is the I, the Eibishter is the I am, and we are merely, his I am is reflected in our I am. And moreover, even deeper, the neshama, which is a chilik alakam mimal mamish, is the true yesh, because the yesh aliki, whereas all else is a creation. More about this later.
How does answer your question though, that you don't garnish, you
Speak up.
you said before, how does it answer the question you said that you don't transform, you expose?
Yeah, in a lie, normally you don't transform, you expose, you just, yeah. But here, your sense of I am is true, because it's rooted in the I am of a likus. So there's a truth. There's a truth to this. It's a corruption. It's a profound corruption of the ultimate truth. Again, no other level of existence of Ruchni has this. They are, I am, I come from you. So they're not the keli for the true exclusivity of the Eibishter. Because in their entire being, there's two things, the duality. I come from Hashem. But the paradox is that in this world there's no duality. I am finished. This big lie. Ani ya'ori v'ani asesini. As part of embody this ultimate klippa. That paradoxically is the keli in its transformation of the I am, the emes I am of the Eibishter, which is this gala dafke lamata, the biggest klippa, dafke the biggest chayshach.
You said, but in the Yid is the truth.
The Yid is the one who's megala it. He doesn't know it. The Yid has to be pale by him. He has to, first of all, it means the doing away with the concealing component. But what's left is not the disappearance of creation. Creation remains, but creation reflects the truth of the Yeshua Amiti. Okay, more about that in the Rebbe's mind in his commentary on this, and Beis Hashem will continue tomorrow. Okay, yeah, stop this here.